Ah, my art room is clean for once. It only gets deep cleaned like this once a year, and that is for my workstation tour. I do these tours every single year and it's fun to see it evolve over time. If you're thinking it feels like I just did the last one, it's because I kind of did. Last year's was late. I didn't do it until June. So I'll have that one linked down below, and I'll also link my honest room tour where I show you what my room typically looks like and how messy it usually is. I mean, you can also just look at any of my vlogs and see how messy this room truly is all the time. Even after I clean it, it's never this clean. This is the yearly deep clean. Anyway, let's begin. So my art room is in the basement because this room just worked out the best, I guess. Oh, hello, little critter. I'll just do a quick sweeping motion to show what the room looks like at a glance, and then I'll dive into all the drawers and cupboards and everything to show you all the stuff I have. This is by far the most decorated room in the house. I just like being surrounded by other people's art, by figures, statues, dolls, all that stuff. I just love having it all around me. That sounds like some artsy fartsy thing, like, this is where I draw my inspiration from. It's just stuff that makes me happy. What's funny is the favorite piece of art that I own is not even in this room. It's upstairs above the mantle. It gets its own special place. It's the Tangled Thomas Kincaid print. Oh, so good. I sometimes wish it was down here, but there's not really a spot to put it, so I'm glad it has its own spotlight upstairs. Anyway, let's start over here. In case you didn't notice, I really like Beauty and the Beast. It's always been my favorite Disney movie, and now I think the live action one kind of beats out the animated one for me. I know, it's weird to say, but I just love it that much. On this wall, this is not even Beauty and the Beast, this is my Merida Print. It's by Tim Shoemate. And then I have a signed photo from Tom Felton. He told me he liked my hair. So did Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's why I had to go back to having colorful hair. I need the attention. Up next, the first look at my doll collection. These are collector's items that you can get at the Disney store, and they usually have a limited release because they're limited edition dolls, and once they sell out, they're gone. So I have live action Belle, there's Gaston, there's the Beast, and there's a little Funko up top to match. I have some stuff down here as well. Cogsworth is a working clock. Lumiere actually does light up, so that's pretty cool. He doesn't have batteries though because he ticks, which is really annoying. This Winter Belle doll is still my favorite that I own. It's just too gorgeous. Look at the patterns, look at the embroidery. Oh, yeah. And then I have my big tapestry. There's actually a little secret here. Boom, the little puzzle I made out of Shrinky Dinks. I didn't know where to put it, so that's where it is. Oh yeah, and that painting's down there just because I don't know where to put it. It was in the closet previously and I was like, it should go somewhere, but I don't know. I don't like displaying my own art, so you're hidden down there till I know what to do with you. This is a little backdrop for my Doodle Domain channel. It's drawing tutorials for kids. I haven't posted anything recently, but new videos are going to be coming soon. Then there's this dresser where I keep miscellaneous art things. Over here I have a lot of packing supplies. I don't need them that much anymore since I don't package and ship my own online store items anymore. I really only ship something if I'm selling an original piece of art. So there's chipboard, cardboard, envelopes, bubble mailers, all that good stuff. I used to use these for storing convention prints, but I don't sell prints that small anymore. So they're both empty, but I'll probably use this one for organizing button art. This just has a bunch of important papers related to like insurance and contracts and all that adulty stuff. There are screen tones, there's masking film, there are various sketchbooks, some are watercolor books, some are just regular sketchbooks. There's an assortment here and some scrapbooks. And there's a little kitten. Oh, bye, Midna. I just realized how dusty it is in here. I didn't dust on the inside. Ah, there's hair. I'll just foot dust it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look. It's good as new. It looks like a spider, but it's not. Or is it? No, we have cellar spiders that look just like that. There's tape along the bottom of this dresser just so cat toys don't go underneath there because it's really hard to fetch them out. Up top, I have lots of crap. Some wooden pieces. I keep my checkbooks in there. There's stuff for making jewelry. I don't know. 3-prong hole punch, a lighter, some candles, a giant pencil that I still want to make a video with. This is my wrist brace, which thankfully I haven't had to use in a long time. Clear plastic sleeves. There are some envelopes in here. Jewelry supplies. This is my beading loom. I keep some construction type paper under there and some sleeves. These are the A4 size. And there's wax paper, which I don't use anymore. I probably should not have that in here. Then in this drawer, I mainly just keep art that I make. It gets stacked right here. And there's an apron here that I actually haven't used yet. Here's some jewelry findings and this miscellaneous thing. I keep some pennies in there because pennies were discontinued in Canada. They're not used anymore. I kept these from that one video I did where I was drawing Pokemon because I might use these again. Then there are my homemade sketchbooks and some pipe cleaners. Oh yeah, there's also this. Koalas. Then in this bottom drawer, which always comes off the rails because this is a really... Kiki? What are you doing? Stop. Anyway, yeah, this drawer is messed up because it's heavy and it comes off the rails all the time and it's kind of breaking, but it's just full of button parts. I recently made another order and so I am stocked up. Over here I have some art on the walls. Those are both from the Disney Wonderground Gallery, as is that one. This I just got at Winners. I have a studio light here. I actually have two and they're very handy for filming stuff. They're almost always pointed at the ceiling because the light can bounce off the whiteness of the ceiling and then just get diffused into the room. This one's usually facing this way, but I just turned it for this video to light up the other half of the room. Then there's this cat tree, which the cats sometimes use. And then next to this light, there's another tripod here. This is the tripod for my camera, and I use a bag filled with soup cans to weigh it down. Then there's the other light, like I mentioned. There's this little dresser here. Well, it's a desk, but I used to use it as a dresser as a kid, so I always call it a dresser. This is meant to be my little sewing station, but I've yet to sew anything since this got brought here, so I don't know. This is an original piece of art by Saku Ems. It's not a print, that's the original. Here I have a cat and an light with some mini ears on it. I wore these on my honeymoon. Speaking of the honeymoon, I got these ducks at Epcot. Here's where I charged the batteries for my Canon G7X, which is what I'm using right now to film. This is my little tabletop easel. I like to bust it out when I'm painting. Sometimes I paint flat, but sometimes I like it propped up. So I keep it here and then I carry it over to my desk when I want to use it. It has a drawer on the side. I used to keep paints in it, but right now it's just empty. Up on the windowsill, I just have a little bottle, flowers, and a little notebook. And then there's this thing that a viewer made for me, like a little pennant thinger. Now for the drawers, this is where I store my laptop. I also keep some accessories for my Etcher Art Satchel, like these are the backpack straps. This is in here, I guess. I'm realizing I didn't actually go through this drawer when I cleaned my art room. Oh, more Pokemon names from another Pokemon video I did. These drawers are pretty random because I don't really have anything I need to put in these drawers. So here's some Velcro and sewing stuff just because, like I said, this is kind of the sewing station. This is catnip. Ooh, silver vine and catnip blend. Oh my. This is what the cats did. I need to glue this back together. It was up on the windowsill. I put everything up there at my own risk. And then here's my little microphone that I use for doing the voiceovers for my art channel when I'm sitting in front of the green screen. I prefer the quality I get from my Blue Yeti, but it's just annoying having to bring that upstairs and hook it up to a computer to use it, so I just use that portable one. I recently got some more printer ink, so that's all just sitting in here. Normally this is mostly empty. There's a bunch of empty containers, woo! And this is a piece for my sewing machine. And then here I have the sewing kit. It's got some thread and needles and sewing tools. Then underneath there's this little stand. I use it for propping up artwork if I want to take a picture of it or anything really. I take it to conventions to prop up my book. Now onto the closet. This door is always open. I just like having it open. It's much cleaner with it closed, but I don't know, I just like seeing everything. And it makes for easy access. Up here I have some canvases. Some are painted on, some aren't. Some I plan on painting over the paintings that are already on them. I have some Cricut bright pads that I'm planning on giving away. I want to do a big 1 million subscriber giveaway whenever that happens. Like never. But when that time finally comes, those will be in the giveaway. This has some scrapbooking stuff. I don't really do scrapbooking anymore, so there's some photos and stickers that are just chilling in there. There's my sewing machine. Those are my cat ear headphones, which I don't use because they're heavy and they make my neck hurt. So I might give those away. I don't know. One of the speakers is defective though, so bleh. Then there's this container. It's just a craft case and it's totally empty. In here I have accessories for my GoPro. This is polymer clay. That's polymer clay. Here I have some pastels. I started out as sticks and then I shave them to be powder, although I haven't gotten through all the colors yet. But this Ferrero Rocher box works perfectly for storing these. This old iPad box I use for storing random little knickknacks, like little drawings people have made for me, little keychains I want to keep, that sort of stuff. And then this one is empty because I just got that iPad recently. In the middle I have a bunch of flowers. A couple of these were previously taped to my wall in here as decoration, but really I have these so that I can use them for making cute Instagram photos. There's seashells, there's pine cones, a bunch of cute things I can, you know, make cute Instagram posts of my art. This basket has various items in here, but it's funny because I know exactly what's in here even if they're not related to each other. This is spare yellow paint for that board for my Doodle Domain backdrop. I use this paper towel for painting. This is removable tape that I use for taping down my art because it's not very sticky, it won't rip the paper. This is an extra drawer from a jewelry box. I took the drawers out of it to put it in my Copic case, which you'll see later. Like some rubber gloves. This isn't being used for anything really. And then this has some drawing supplies in it. I plan on making a video using that. Down here I keep various electronics and cables, including my old light box. This contains a bunch of wire crates that I use for displaying art at conventions. And then I have my Etcher art satchel and the Etcher slate. Here I keep larger things. I used to use big pieces of paper as backdrops for my videos. And then there's just some stuff like illustration board, photo frames, some of that burlap. That's the word. So that's the closet. Here I have some glass display cases that I got from IKEA, and they contain various figures and dolls and just breakable things that I want to display. Because when you have cats, you gotta be careful with your breakable stuff. Up top I have some limited edition dolls. There's Elsa and a couple Moana dolls. And some other little plushies and things right here. Here's a look at everything I have inside here. And then there's a bunch of collectibles and things. Some of these are Christmas ornaments. There's my Korok sculpture that I made. And then the bottom one is kind of Harry Potter-ish, except for the little drawing of Ben that someone made me. There's a piggy bank hiding back there, one I've had since I was really little. It says Baylee on it. Now for this side, this is my one and only Hot Toys figure, but I'm getting the live action Belle. She got pushed back, so I don't know when I'm gonna get her, but I'm also getting Jack Sparrow, and he is gonna ship very, very soon, so I'm excited. I love this one. I mean, I love them all, but just look how cute. Oh my. This is a collector Barbie. It's the water Sprite Barbie. This is a Rapunzel doll, just a regular one from the Disney store. She's not limited edition or anything. This is a little commemorative ticket that I got from the D23 Expo. It's a Disney convention, if you don't know. These are also not limited edition, but they're film collection dolls, so they're kind of like a step up from the regular dolls, but not as fancy or as expensive as the limited edition dolls. Then in the back there is a sealed copy of the Beauty and the Beast VHS. My mom was holding on to that for years and I had no idea, and then she gifted it to me for Christmas a year ago and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Now beside that I have more dolls. Don't judge me. This one I got at the D23 Expo. The rest I just got from the Disney store. These were all released in 2017. I'll just do a quick little close-up of these. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh nice. Kiki, you would swear I have like 10 black cats based on how many times you've been in this video. This one I also got from the D23 Expo. You can always tell because the edition will be one of something something 23. So maybe one of 523 or 1023. So that's one of them. And I love this one. She's so gorgeous. Look at her. Look at her. But then there's also the Saks Fifth Avenue Snow White doll. Yeah, she's not from the Disney store, surprisingly. I had to order her online since we don't have a Saks store here. But look at her. She's gorgeous. Look at that poofy dress. Look how big her box is. And just look at the texture of that cape. Oh, it looks so velvety. And just the gold and white. Oh, so good. Up here we have some things that surprisingly have not been broken, considering Kiki loves sitting here. Again, I know the risk. I leave that stuff there and I allow her to sit there. Doesn't bother me. This is from the Disney Wonderground Gallery. Now below I have this shelving unit, which is from IKEA. This is a new addition that was not in last year's video. This thing is part of the reason why I have excessive amounts of storage now in this room. And there's a bunch of stuff that previously was stored elsewhere that I now store here. Like there's a bunch of books that I used to keep in a bookshelf outside of my art room, and now I have room to keep it all inside my art room. I have a bunch of issues of Imagine FX. I don't get them anymore, but I have so many I can look back on. I have the D23 magazines. I have some Animal Sense magazines because the fundraiser we did, like the charity stream for the SPCA. They featured it in this magazine, which is really cool. And yeah, just some other miscellaneous books. Harry Potter books. Yeah. Here I have some sketchbooks and some of my books. Here I have a 3D pen I got off Amazon and some filament because I want to use those in a video. Underneath I have my buttons and my button press. Over here I have acrylic paints. These are all the cheap ones. They're mostly from the dollar store. And then I also have this glass palette, but I really only use this one for oils. This is a little arm that I can clamp to my desk. It can hold my webcam or this camera if I want to get a side view for an art video. Then in this cubby, I have my refill ink system for my printer and some Crayola markers for Doodle Domain. Down here, I have my guillotine cutter. It's very handy for chopping paper. Then there is my bookcase where I keep most of my art books. I have some manga, reference books, all that good stuff. And then on top I have my printer. It's the Canon Pixma Pro 100. It's a very nice printer. It's huge. It's for wide format printing, which is nice. I can make big art prints. Then on top of that I have my Loish print. I got that from her Society 6 shop. And then I have this print which I picked up at the D23 Expo. I can't remember the name of the artist, Heather something. I don't know, but she signed it on the back, which is really cool. This is the breaker box. There's usually spiders when I open it, although we don't have as many spiders as we used to. It's just a little webby, just a little. Then there is a gap between my desk and the wall because there's a water shutoff valve back there behind that door. I used to keep canvases back here, but now I have a new place to put them. That's the glass I used to use for my desk surface. There's a mat in case I want to take a pretty picture of art that fits in it. And then I have a huge sheet of masonite which I want to cut up and paint on. I just set up my saw so once I get some safety gear I can finally cut this sucker. I put this sticker here thinking I would save up the stickers to get free coffee at McDonald's, but I never go for coffee at McDonald's, so no, that's just been there forever. So now moving on to the desk. Dun, dun, dun. I wonder if I did that last year, that dun, dun, dun. I don't know. If people watch these back to back, I might be saying some of the same things. So I have a huge 3-sided desk that I got from Source Office Furnishings. On top of the hutch, we have more Disney dolls. Ooh la la. Oh, how nice. Oh, baby. Yes, this one. This one's limited to 500 worldwide. Oh, baby. It's beautiful. And look at the pattern on this one. Ah, Belle, so gorgeous. That one was from D23, and so was that one. Then below that I have my silver play buttons for my art channel and my vlog channel, my little subscribe pillow. I have a few decorations here, including a couple hollow books. This one contains a thick dino, and then this one has some stamps in it. And there's also my little Game of Thrones music box. In this cupboard, I have anything that's liquid really, like gesso, matte medium, some bookbinding glue, varnish, Mod Podge, wood glue, Copic colorless blender, this is some masking fluid, this is linseed oil, all that kind of stuff. There's also some tape, I have a couple aprons, there's some salt and some envelopes. And then, oh, you know, just like more Tom Felton, you know. Then over in the other cupboard, I keep books and notepads, that kind of thing. These are little portfolio style books where I keep my Copic art. Not all of it, but just my favorites. There's some pens, pencils, yeah. Below that, I have a few of my larger paper pads, or just ones that I use more often. There's another little portfolio style book, but this one holds 9x12s. This is a little stationery set. I just keep it there. I don't know why. I don't even use the paper, but I like the way the box looks. I always keep my Copic chart here, as well as any art that I've recently finished or that I'm currently working on. I had a huge stack because I never went through it for the longest time, but when I cleaned my room for this video, I finally put all that art away. I always have a brush at my desk because I just need to brush my hair a lot. I mostly use it when I'm live streaming. I'll look at the camera and be like, oh, my hair's a mess, and then I'll brush it. This I just got at Universal Studios recently. I haven't put anything in it because I don't really know what to put in it. I was gonna put erasers, but there's really not that much space. It's not as deep as it looks on the outside. It's just very thick, so I don't know. Who knows? It's gonna sit here till I decide what to do with it. This is my name tag from D23. It's magnetic, so I just have it stuck on there. In here, I keep mostly scissors, tape, glue, And then these little hole punches. One is butterfly shaped, one is star shaped, and then I have a circular one. I also keep some right angled rulers in there. Those are handy. I also love this circle stencil. Very handy. And the next one, I have some beading supplies and some embroidery thread. I really cut down on the amount of beading supplies I own, so I don't have as much anymore. I did keep these ones because they're big and the cats like to play with them. That's the only reason I kept those ones. Then I have some gold leaf pens. I was using these for wedding invitations, and I have a few extras in here. Here's where I keep all my pin backs for all the pins on my pin board. As you can see, I have a lot. Then under that one, I have my Copic refills. They fit in here very nicely. This organizer is from Michaels, by the way. Just look at this. Look how perfect that is. Ah! Although it works perfectly in this drawer, it doesn't work so perfectly in this drawer because I don't have enough to fill the drawer, so they like to fall over. This stuff is back here only to stop those from falling over. I used to have pens back here, but I moved them over to my Copic case, so I just have this in here for now. This container has some USB sticks, some memory cards, like smaller ones that I don't use anymore, the lens cap for my camera. I always kept this fortune from a fortune cookie. It said, keep in touch with some form of the arts. When I got that, I was pursuing veterinary medicine and all that, so it's kind of neat that that's actually the route I ended up taking, was the art route. I forgot I had this. Yeah, that's what's in there. Then that pencil case down there just has some glitter in it. Over here, I have the pin board, like I mentioned. We'll do a little close-up sweep of the pins. There's Disney ones, Pokemon ones, Pusheen, SpongeBob. There's an assortment. A few from Twitch. Yeah. And then there are some keychains and this drawing of me and Christian and the kitties. Here's where I keep tall stuff. Like I have this brush for brushing away eraser dust. There are some rulers. There's my little animation pegboard. And I have some longer paintbrushes in there. Then here's where I keep all my shorter paintbrushes. Here I have a little aloe plant, and it's in a cage because aloe is toxic to cats, and that is a real plant, so it's caged up. I have this SpongeBob mug that I got from Universal Studios. That's one side, and then on the other side, he has that face. Look how cute. I love this mug, but I don't actually drink out of it. I want to have it on display at all times, so it's here holding some pencils and pens. These are the ones I use specifically for Doodle Domain, so I like having them just separately, so when I go to film, I can just grab the cup, bring it over to the other side of my desk, and start working. And then this Pikachu is adorable. It's just such a cute plushie. I'm very picky on the shape of different plushies, but this one's just too perfect. Then I have my big pencil sharpener. It's a Mitsubishi KH20. It's very nice, and there's 2 sharpness settings. It can make your pencil super, super sharp with a nice long lead. And here I keep my tape. It just makes me feel like I have a real office. It makes me a true adult. Then here's my scanner. It's the Epson Perfection V550 Photo. It's pretty nice. I like it. Then on top I have my iPad Pro, which I just got recently. I don't have a case or any accessories for it yet, so it's just sitting here for now. I just don't want to tuck it away somewhere and risk wrecking it. So this is your home for now, or plugged into wherever you're charging. Then I have this thing, which I kind of want to get rid of and just move everything that's in here elsewhere because I have so much storage in other places. But at the same time, it's such a cute container. I don't want to get rid of it. And I painted it gold. I have sticky notes. I have washi tape. And then I have a bunch of stickers in these drawers. Here are a few things that are just too big to fit in there, including Frank. Ah! Now I'm going to swing back over this way. Underneath here I have some drawers that are built into the desk. This is a momentous occasion for this drawer. Let me tell you, it has never been this organized. Normally, it's just a mess. Like in last year's workstation tour, I didn't even bother cleaning this. I don't know if I've ever bothered cleaning this drawer, but I was sick of the mess, so I decided to organize it. Just has miscellaneous office supplies and art supplies. I keep it locked because the drawers slide open like that. In this bottom drawer, I have some electronics, which is funny because this originally was my electronics drawer, then it wasn't. Now it's kind of back to being an electronics drawer, but it's all stuff related to live streaming. Almost all of it is related to like Game Boys and DS's and cables that go with it. But then I have a few other cables that I use for live streaming, like this is what I use to stream from my iPad, and this is just a charging cable. I also have a scale, a little tripod. These are little, what's it called? pliers for jewelry stuff. This container I don't think actually has anything in it. I have some scratch boards here, which I still have not made a video out of. Some of these bags are empty, but when I travel, I put stuff in them. This has some syringes that I use for art, just for dripping rubbing alcohol onto my Copic art. There's my charger for my iPad. There's this little etcher pencil case. In here, I keep some little things. I don't really use these much anymore. There's some Copic multi-liner refills, and then little nibs and blades for my X-Acto knife. It's really an unnecessary container, but I've just always had it, so I don't know. I also have this little container, has some pencils in it, some blending stumps, couple rulers, some refill lead. Yeah. Below the drawers, I have my Copic case. It just has my Copic airbrush system in it. Then next to that, I have these shoe shelves. I just set these up, and they're handy for storing larger things. So I have some Epson photo paper that I use for prints. These are the sleeves that I put the prints in. And then I have some canvases here. And I thought this would be a great place to store canvases when I'm in the middle of working on an oil painting, because the canvas will still be wet and I can lay them in there just to keep them protected. Normally I just keep my current work in progress on the easel, but if I have more than one or I have something bigger that I don't want to keep on the easel, I can just lay them in here. So it's not really full right now, and I could easily combine some of these things onto the same shelf, but for now that's how it's laid out. Then I have my chair. It's a little shredded from back when you were little kittens. I mean, they still jump up onto the back of the chair, but they don't shred it like they used to. But it's still functional. It's not the prettiest, but it's comfy and it works, so I'm gonna keep it. So here's my computer station. I have my Cintiq 22HD. It's on an Ergotron arm. It's handy because I can pull it forward, pull it off the desk when I'm drawing. I can even lift it up. You could stand and draw with this thing. Look at that. Look at that. It's pretty cool. I don't like to stand though, I'm too lazy. And then this cable is actually for the scanner. I used to have an extension cord going to the computer, but there's not a spot for it now, so it just plugs right into my Cintiq. Here I have my Stream Deck. It just lets you map functions to the button so you can press things while you're live streaming and it'll do stuff. Behind that I have a tripod with my webcam on it. It's always turned facing the wall because I'm paranoid someone's watching me, and one time my stream did start itself. So I had no clue it was live streaming, but it was. It was pretty freaky. Behind there I have big posters. I have a Beauty and the Beast poster, which I just got from a random poster store. This one was from the D23 Expo. It has a very pearlescent finish. It's very nice. This one's limited. I have number 17 out of 90. And there's my monitor, just a basic Samsung monitor. Super cheap Logitech keyboard. Here's where I keep the pen for my tablet. I know you can have a little holder that comes with the thingy, but I just like to keep mine right here on the keyboard. Here's my ugly mouse pad that I need to replace because it's all dirty. There's glue, it's stained, it's gross. Here's my Google Home, which my dad got me for Christmas. It's been really fun for playing music during my live streams. It's also really fun if you ask it for a riddle or ask for it to ask you a trivia question. It's like a whole game. It's weird. Then I have my Blue Yeti microphone, and then here is the Pro Controller for the Switch. Here's my Surface, which I used to use for editing on the go, but now I have a different laptop. I mainly use it for watching things while I'm drawing, just to have something on in the background, and I also carry it around the house while I'm getting ready or cooking or doing dishes, whatever. I just always need like Netflix or a YouTube video on in the background. Behind this, I have a Blu-ray player, which I don't actually even need anymore because my new computer has a built-in Blu-ray player, so that could probably go in the storage room. Here is a power bar with various things plugged into it. It's like the cable apocalypse back here. Here's a little TV, which again is for the Blu-ray player, but I don't need the Blu-ray player anymore, and my new computer can have up to 5 monitors. My old one could only have 2, so I could have all these plugged in at once. This one's not plugged into the computer right now, but it could be. Now that I can actually play PC games and stream them, I probably should use that because when I'm playing a game full screen, I don't have enough space on my other monitor for all my streaming windows, so I probably should hook that up. And then over here beside the TV, I have my Switch. Underneath, I have my footrest here. It's very nice when you're sitting here all day to have your feet propped up. And then this is a mermaid tail blanket that my sister got me. It just gets cold in the basement, so that's why I have that there. And then here is my new computer. Boy! I got it custom built at Memory Express. It's very nice and fancy. There I have my garbage can, and then here I have some little drawers. Beside them is my light box. In this one I have all my paints, well not all my paints, but oils and acrylics. the fancy ones. Like I said, the dollar store ones are over there, but this is where I keep the nice ones. I also have some palette knives in little containers. And then I also have some paper towel because if it's not fully used up, I like to save it and reuse it. This middle one has some watercolor stuff. There are a few palettes in here. These are my Schmincke watercolors. I have some cheaper ones underneath. These are coasters, but I like to use them for putting paint water on top of or setting my brushes on. This is technically for paint water as well, but I usually just use a cup. It unfolds into a square like that, but it's kind of big. I don't need that much water at any given time, so I don't use it that often. You can even stick some brushes in there if you want, but it's not good to store them bristle up if they're wet, so that's really not that good. Then I have these little pens from the Disney store, just some Tsum Tsum markers. In this thingy I have some gouache. This has some inking pens and my X-Acto knife. Oh hey, there's also a spare eraser for my click eraser in there. Nice. And then here are my gold Finetech paints. In the top one I have some pencils. These are charcoal pencils. These are 6B pencils. I have some Palomino Blackwings down there. Here are some metallic pencils, more sketching pencils, my color wheels, some hole punches, refill ink for some brush pens, masking fluid, white ink, brown ink, black ink. Then there's also the power cable for the light box. This container on top has paper in it. So this is the Hammermill cardstock that I use for all my Copic art. In the middle I have printer paper. Then down here I have a cheaper quality cardstock. This is just like a little oval template. But yeah, this is cheaper cardstock that I use for printing onto. Really it's left over from when we did our wedding invitations, but I've been using it for a few other things like the toppers for my button packs. Then on top of that I have my pencil crayons. I have a big set of Prismacolors right here. Then I also have this set my dad got me a year ago for Christmas. It's by Cretacolor. These pencils last me forever because I don't use pencils that often. When I do, it's just for adding little details to my Copic art, and so these have been lasting me for ages. My dad actually got me these ones for Christmas one year too. But yeah, I like having everything really accessible. Sure, I keep some stuff stored in other areas around the room, but I love having a lot of it crammed right around my desk. I can just grab the paper right away, grab supplies. I love having this here now because more stuff is within my reach. Realistically, I probably could have all my art supplies confined to the desk itself. Maybe not all my books, but art supplies, yes. I just don't actually use the space that efficiently. Like there's more storage underneath that's not really being used. Not everything is filled to capacity. Like some drawers I just put stuff in just because there's empty space. Then there's this whole section here which is purely decorative. I could make it functional, and same up here as well. That's not functional space, it's purely for decoration. Half the space in this room is used for dolls, so it seems like really full and like a lot, but this is not all art stuff. Anyway, let's move on to the final bit here. Here's my tripod again, but from the other side I have my camera hooked up. I have a camera setup video always linked down below in the video description, so that's probably gonna be there again. I did get a new ring light though. It's slightly bigger than the old one, but still fits right around the camera, which is nice. This one is by Luxley. This is a Canon 70D. This is my Rode mic, and the tripod is a Benro C1980T. I really like it because it has that horizontal arm, and that's why I have to have those counterweights over there. Underneath that is my Copic case. This is actually a new case. My old one was made out of foam board. I made it myself, I just glued the pieces together, but I wanted something a little more sturdy because that one was slowly falling apart. So I used 2 soda crates from Michael's and glued them together. If you want to see the in-depth process on how I did this, I did a couple vlogs about it. But yeah, it stores all my Copic markers and a bunch of my other pens like Sharpies, my multi-liners, pencils, pens, these colorful liners, like some are gel pens, some are glitter pens, all kinds of stuff fits in here. And then this little drawer I use for storing erasers, and then this one here I use for pencil sharpeners. And you always need a nail file in case you find a rough edge on your nail or something, although that's less of an issue now that I do gels instead of regular polish. And here's my planner and my phone. The case is from my Redbubble shop. And then here I have a plant, and there are a couple short pencils down there as well. And I believe that is everything. I think I showed all of it. Let's do one more little turnaround thingamajig, but from this side now. Ooh, don't look at that bag of garbage out there. You didn't see it. Ooh, yes. So nice. Yeah, so many dolls. So many art supplies. So many cats. Oh my god. Yeah. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Do 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 do. Sound effects make it better. Da, 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 da. So I hope you guys enjoyed my workstation tour for 2018, and I'll be back in 2019 with another one since I do them every year. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.